got it in the throat today. And I don't know what my problem is. Let us begin. This passage is really the base of the church. It is the Great Commission. I don't know if you've ever heard that phrase. By the way, we're going to end today with the Great Commission song. I know we sung it a couple of weeks ago. Some people didn't know it. That's okay. I don't care. But the words is the Great Commission is to go and to teach and to preach, to baptize in the name. It is the marching orders of the church. It said that the 11 went to where Jesus told them to go, and Jesus came, and they worshiped him, and some doubted. Now, I'm not going to be hard on the disciples. It's confusing enough being a church member and a Christian today to work out things and what is God. So I'm saying that they didn't doubt who Jesus was. I'm thinking they were doubting if they could do what Jesus wanted them to do. Many other clergy that I have talked with, one of the first things that we talk about is our calling. Were we called gradually in the church as we grew and kept listening to the voice of God and through the work of Christ? Was it one magical moment when lightning struck us right in the forehead? Or was a small, still voice and said, "Come, follow me, I want you"? But no matter how it happened among our clergy folk, one of the things they say, I'm a witness to that, "You can't mean me. You know what I have done." But don't get excited. I'm not saying anything that I've done. I'm not confessing to you already done that to God. By the way, my brother, and I've paid this before, but one time I said, something scared me to death, and I saw my life flash before me. My brother said, that can't be true, because if your life had flashed before you, you would have died of embarrassment. My brother does love me. But it's that we're unworthy to take up this mantle, if you will, of what Jesus wants us to do. To go, an adverb, an action verb, to go into all the world, to baptize and preach and teach in my name. Now, don't think that some of you are off the hook because you're not ministers. It doesn't mean that ministers go and baptize and teach. We do that as lay people. My parents have preached to me my entire life. My mother's 83. She was just here. You should have heard her preach to me about diet and fingernails and the way I drive. And I can't believe it. But so there's preaching and then there's preaching. But what Jesus means is to tell the story as you understand it to another. And so therefore everyone teaches and preaches. We sit down to dinner, family and friends. We meet someone at a meeting. We get to know each other. We share our story of where we've come from and what brought us to this point. By the way, only if they ask, by the way. You know, I've had people sit down and just, and I didn't ask them to tell me their whole story, but they began because they needed to tell their story. And so Jesus now is sending us to all the world. Now, this Great Commission is not just for a tiny sect of people. It's not just for Western culture. It's not just for men. It's not just for whites. You see, this Great Commission is meant to be for the whole world. I believe that it is the Christian faith that's going to help hold this tiny globe called Earth together. Because all we're doing now is dividing ourselves into little camps. Even within the church. Different denominations, but even within the same denomination, little camps. Some call themselves liberals, and some fundamentals, and some moderates. The way in which we worship or tell the story. I don't think God will look down upon us and say, you're doing a good job in that way. No, tell the story. Be proud of who you are, but tell the story. Christ has come into your life. And therein then comes peace. Therein comes times that when you're laid low, that you can be picked up. That you're a part now of a Christian community of other believers. That we can go and to share. Marge Gallagher is in the hospital, and went up to see her. And let me back up. How many people either have watched American Idol, but I think a year ago, maybe a black girl by the name of Fantasia or something like that? Are you with me? All right, now I'll bring you up to speed. I was up to see Marge Gallagher, and he came in, and she had a little tear in her eye because, oh, my cute little pastor, which is true, I mean, but. And she says, Fantasia. And this black girl turns around, she looks exactly like this lady from American Idol. She goes, I told you he was coming. She goes, this is my pastor. And she goes, I don't know how I would get along without my pastor and my church.